Hey, everybody. So we have a unique situation. Maybe it's not particularly unique over the next couple of months, maybe, where we're going to have baseball and basketball kind of coalescing and locking around the same time. So we are going to have to figure out the best way to attack the. We're going to have to figure out the best way to attack the delivery of these live before lock contents. Um, Whether we do like kind of a half hour baseball, then a half hour basketball, or just do whatever. We'll figure it out. But I think today, as Bobby mentioned, we're going to try to get it all done in a half an hour. And fortunately, baseball is a little bit more manageable in general than basketball. Um, yeah, thanks K9. I did well in the League of Legends again. I had another first place, which doesn't really mean that much because I'm sharing it with a gazillion people. But beats losing, that's for sure. Beats having freaking Sam Burns and other golfers who just are destroying my life right now. Even John Hudd, he snuck into the money sort of, but that was a little bit of a horror show. Ooh, Kazire -1. Okay, that's good. Ooh, what a collapsement of all my golfers. But I got two of them going to the weekend. That's fine. Just kind of waiting on Bobby here. This is not the time for him to be even 2 minutes late because we got a lot to get to. And I didn't have any previous conversations with him about the slate, so I have to kind of catch up with him. I have my own opinions on this, and hopefully they convene with Bobby's takes on this stuff. And we are live. And the funny thing is that, guys, this is really funny. For those of you that stuck around yesterday, I don't know if you noticed, we had a couple of guys, and we were just kind of struggling with me, just kind of building these late slate lineups. And one of them, I got third in that FanDuel monster that we were kind of working on, which is kind of neat. Just because we just kind of all did it, and you guys, some of you were really helpful to me actually, and I was able to get that done and get a third placer in that, which was really, really nice. So we're still waiting on Bobby here. Oh, John Wall is out. Of course he is. Of course John Wall is out. Why would John Wall not be out? I have to redo all that, huh? Okay. Yeah, that's right. You remember that, MJV? Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So I don't know if I can spend a little later today, but I don't think I'll have time. So there's Bobby. I was telling everybody that we have to figure out the best way to handle this and going forward, with respect to like multiple sports locking at the same time, pretty much.
Yep. Yeah, I think that I'll come up with a schedule thing for each week.
Wait, hold on. I got something going on where I think I have to.
What happened?
Oh no, I had too much sound going. So we haven't spoke about this. So I think the easiest thing to do is to kind of bang out the baseball piece.
Let's do it.
Because at least to me, that looks to be it's not going to be driven by like John Wall getting ruled out, and like, you know what I mean, which just happened. So I think the easiest thing.
I think that let's do that. That sounds like a good idea. Also, there's not a whole lot we should expect to change for the baseball. We have the lineups coming in now. We should be good. Sam Burns sucks. I hear you, RJ. That's a rough one. He's a it's unfortunate.
All right, we got to move. We got to move. I already whined about baseball, about golf.
I gotta say what's up, and a little shout out to our buddy Carp, James Carp, who came on with me earlier today, who's been in our Discord and really knows his stuff. And we did a baseball video, and people really seem to enjoy it. So awesome. I'm thinking we're going to be doing that just before we get into everything. Maybe once a week or once a month, either way. We'll figure out, maybe twice a month. I don't know, but have somebody on either with me or you or both of us, all three of us.
All right.
And we'll break it down that way, because I see everybody seemed to love the idea. So I think that should be a good time.
So so with respect to baseball, okay, let me pull up a you want to talk game by game? Or you want to go by pit? You want to talk about the pitchers?
We can talk about the pitchers first if you want to.
So I don't know. I mean, I looked at the ownerships or whatever. I might be, I don't know. I might be a little nutso, but I might be a little bit crazier than people today. So I am presuming that the following guys are going to be kind of cutesy and owned or whatever it is. So I presume that Snell and Bauer will be owned. I'm sure that Lopez and Haney, everybody loves to play Haney. They don't love it. They just can't get enough of playing Andrew Haney.
I know all the numbers look great. Although the White Sox don't.
Cardi like wants to have Haney's children. You know, it's like everybody loves Haney. I'm gonna regret this, but I right now have 50% Johnny Cueto.
So that's more than I have, but I don't hate the thinking. So the way we should look at this early season pitching is really important. First of all, what are we paying for unless the guy is going to be given a leash? And Blake Snell hasn't pitched 6 innings in a year and a half. Not 6 innings. That's not that much to ask for. So especially like on FanDuel, for me, just crossing them out, not even playing them. On DraftKings, I have him about 15%. The guy who does have the guys with the leash on this whatever, this slate would be Bauer, potentially Heaney, and potentially, depending on how it goes, Cueto. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So and the Cueto thing, and the other guy I really like is freaking Kikuchi. So you know, if you want to pay up for some of these hitting, if it's just hitting, I don't think these are just terrible punts. I mean, these are like we played Kikuchi at like 50% ownership all last year. You know what I mean? Or at least debated it. You know what I mean? Like he was always like a tremendous value. And
the matchup is certainly nothing to shy away from.
The matchup's fine. You know, it is what it is. You know.
Yeah, I like it.
So I like both of them, and I really think all the top guys have risk. I think that Snell has incredible leash risk, like you were talking about. Mm-hmm. I think Bauer. I mean, look, he's got a good leash. He's got an incredible strikeout upside, obviously. But for someone to say that someone playing in Coors, pitching in Coors, doesn't have risk is kind of ignoring it. And Haney always, Haney, I guess, somewhat safe, whatever it is. But the way I'm looking at this slate might be kind of psycho, but I'm liking Cueto, and everybody wants to have Haney's children. You know what? I'll play the White Sox, man. Let's go. I mean, give me all these guys that we always play. Give me Tim Anderson. Give me Abreu. Mm-hmm. Give me this stuff. And the prices look kind of weird. And look, I mean, you run the slate 1,000 times, and obviously the Dodgers are going to outscore everybody, most of the time. But you got like similarly priced White Sox guys I'm looking at some of this ownership. I got to scroll all the way down to find it. I don't know. Is that am I out of my head playing the White Sox?
No, not at all. I mean, it's especially because you have the cheap, chalky Andrew Vaughn probably. I mean, forget what percentages you're seeing. He's going to be really popular. Then you've got a bunch of guys who aren't going to be owned, so but you can also like play a Dodgers stack, play Vaughn, and play a mini White Sox stack and not go crazy with it. Like you can play Tim Anderson at short instead of the 2 chalk shortstops and feel really good about it because he hits lefties really well. There's not a huge drop off there. I personally think Seager's significantly the best play on the slate at shortstop ahead of Tatis, but absolutely play the other guys. Abreu would make sense at first if you want to get away from Muncy, or depending on how you did it with White and the other Vaughn. Do you like
any other pitchers, by the way, or no? Do you like Yarbrough?
I like a lot of. Here's my pitching thing. And this is what I'm going to do early in the season. It's something that you shouldn't do late, like in general GPP play. You want to try and lock into pitchers. That's not really the way to go early in the season, I don't think, especially with these kind of pitchers. And they're all so close. Like I hate Merrill Kelly more than anything. I think he sucks. For some reason, he pitches really well against the Padres. I'm going to have a few shares of Merrill Kelly. That's probably a 15%er guy for me. That sounds crazy, but look at his numbers from last year, and he looks like the best pitcher other than Bauer on the slate. Pablo Lopez is my favorite of the spend downs. Kikuchi would be my other my other spend down guy, and I love Trevor Bauer. I don't care. And Heaney. Those are my pitcher pool basically. Oh, excuse me. I do have some Luzardo too. The pay rate's appealing and the low ownership, so I could play him with a more chalky stack. I do think the Dodgers are significantly the best stack on the slate, so I do think that like just ignoring them is probably not the right strategy. I'm mixing them up. I'm playing mini stacks with them. I'm playing full stacks or 4-man stacks with 4-man stacks of another one I like, which again, sorry, against your boy Cueto. I think it could go one way where Cueto could really dominate a team that hasn't really seen him, and he's pitched well against the American League for this reason because he's so unusual, and he's always starts the season really well too. So since in the last few years as he's gotten older. So I kind of like the idea of mixing in a Seattle stack though on the other side, because if he does get wild, and I'm not trusting that Giants team or their bullpen, and I think Seattle has, there's just so much value, and they're not going to be owned as much. Haniger will be owned. Trammell will probably have a little bit, but nobody's going to play Kyle Seager. I'll play the Seagers together. Why not? So I'm kind of into that as a stack. And then also on the other side, I don't want to stack San Francisco, but I like little pieces. Like they're all cheap, and Posey is a catcher, Solano, but depending on where their lineup is, we don't have their lineup yet, I don't believe. But I do think that the other stack that I'm getting a mini version of and maybe it's a little bit of a hedge, but it's not entirely. I think that a couple of the Miami bats, not stacking Miami, but playing like Aguilar at his cheap price, and playing Duvall, there's some upside there. They're just really good lefty-righty power splits. And then on the other side of that game, I do like a Tampa Bay mini stack when it's going to be completely unowned. I will have 15% of Rosarena. I will have 15% Brandon Lau, because no one's going to play him. And I love Austin Meadows. I think Austin Meadows is actually like an exceptional play separately as a one-off or whatever. And you could include Setsugo somewhere in the lineup if you wanted to go that way. Those are my 4 from Tampa Bay that I'm using. So from the first game, those are the 6 guys that I'm playing other than the pitchers. And then, yeah, I mean, it's weird to have only a 6-game slate after the day after the opening day. It's just strange. But I don't like Yarbrough. I do like Lopez in the first game is basically what I'll say.
Now the other stack that I'm getting a lot of, and this and I did well with them yesterday, but it was like a smaller slate, is going right back to the Astros. Do you like them at all?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely upside, especially because they're going to be low owned. You're just playing them versus the Dodgers. What I'm mostly doing with teams like that is I'm taking one or two of them in a spot where a Dodger would fit into a stack commonly. You know what I mean? Where they're similarly priced.
Okay.
Bregman over Turner, for example. That would be my favorite example, I guess. Correa potentially over Seager or Tatis. That's the way that I'm doing it. I don't think I want to get a full-on stack of them because Oakland's got a good bullpen too. But I just think that maybe a mini stack would make sense. I could argue for everybody on this slate because it's not outside the Dodgers, which are really clearly the best offense. It's picking and choosing. And San Diego is second best in my opinion, but I don't think it's. I think Merrill Kelly does suck and has huge blow up ability, but I don't know that I think the Padres in San Diego would make sense to stack over the Dodgers at similar ownership. At least what I'm looking at right now has them at fairly similar ownership. Not quite that similar, I guess. But early in the day, it was a little closer. But yeah, still pretty significant ownership. And you can just do simple things if you're going to stack the Padres. Play Eric Hosmer at first, even though he's not my favorite first baseman. He's going to be the low-owned one. Play Will Myers at 4.9, and FanDuel will be popular, but he won't be on DraftKings. Play Jurickson Profar as a cheapo at 2.9. Maybe fade Campusano and try and get somebody.
Campusano's the catcher?
Yeah, he's going to be just massive chalk.
Why? Because he's hitting 7th?
Actually, I didn't even think that was why. I think he was always projected that he was supposed to be 8th. He's 2.2K.
Okay.
And he fits into a team that everybody likes. And I like picking on Kelly. It tends to be better to do with lefties. This is a pretty righty heavy team, but that's sort of where my thoughts are on that one.
What else do you like tonight in baseball?
So for individual plays, here's some guys who stuck out, and some of them I'm going to give another shout out to Carp because he did point out some good things about like Mitch Moreland stands out as a terrific play. 3,600, very low, like less than 10% ownership. I really like Mitch Moreland. Now
I presume he's against the righty, right?
Yeah. I love Matt Olson as always. I think he's my favorite of the pivots off of these guys. I think that just like you're going to get such low ownership on him, and he's just has immense power. So I'll take that. He mentioned David Fletcher. I'm not into David Fletcher, but he did mention some good points about his splits being his advantage. Bregman, I really like because I think that you're getting, what are we going to get ownership on Bregman? It's 5% maybe, like against the lefty. All these guys, Mike Trout even, who's going to have some ownership, of course, but like all these guys who are against lefties, who crush lefties, who are going to be ignored because of the Dodger situation. I want to include them with the Dodger situation if I can. And like where I'm playing Blake Snell, by the way, on DraftKings, I'm only playing him with Bauer at the moment.
Why? But now, why is it just that's the way you're getting it, or
go for ceiling and play for? I'll spend up on my two pitchers. I think it's a different build than the way most people go. I think they'll mostly pick between them, or they'll and in general they're mostly probably going to pick Blake Snell. So Blake Snell is going to be 50% owned. I'll have like 20%, 15, 20% probably. Hopefully that doesn't kill me.
What?
Hopefully that doesn't kill me.
That should be all right. And did you share your I don't want to say love, but your any like for the White Sox?
I like I like the pivots, but Heaney is combustible at times, so that part of it does make it appealing. Immediately you can already play the catcher just as a pivot off of what's it called too, Campusano, Mercedes off of Campusano from at least 2.1. And then you could pay up for the Robert, Anderson, Abreu, not Grandal. Definitely not Grandal.
Remind me.
No power against lefties.
Oh, I mean, there was one side that we're allowed to play him, one side we weren't.
Yeah, play him as a righty. He gets on base as a righty. He gets hits, but he doesn't have any power. Historically, it's like drastic splits too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a Dodger, so I'm pretty familiar with that one. But Seager's the best play on the slate, in my opinion. It's not that questionable. I think he's the chalk too, and that's fine. But I would rather have two Seagers if I was playing two lineups than one Seager and one Tatis, or one Seager and one Anderson, or something like that.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Is that not sarcastically, but which Seager were you referring to? Because they both look pretty good, huh? Yeah,
no, I like both of them, and that's the thing. You can play both of them, and you're not gonna get high ownership on Kyle Seager tonight. He might have a little more than some of the other third basemen because he's a little cheaper, but you're probably talking at max 10%.
Okay.
So I think you're really in good shape with all of these. There's a lot of really good pivots, and I think you can build your lineup without having to play a different stack, and you can still get different than the Dodgers. I mean, just including 2 or 3 Dodgers on lineups. I'm going to have maybe 1 or 2 without any Dodgers, but it's going to be that's out of a number of them because I don't really.
Senzatella is
he's not so bad.
He's not that bad, but he's not that good either. I mean,
but the Dodgers are the Dodgers. I mean, hopefully this time when a ball goes off someone's thing, that was really weird yesterday. Did you see that one?
What ended up happening?
Bellinger hit one that went off the guy in and out of the guy's glove out over the wall for a home run. But then what's his name thought it was caught. So Justin Turner, so he went back past him on the base pads. It didn't count as a single.
That's crazy.
It's really, really annoying. I mean, I had a lot of Bellinger, but so did everybody else. So can't really complain.
Yeah. You know what I think I'm going to get on, by the way? I think I am going to get on some Merrill Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I like to say sometimes, just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just his numbers are actually better than they should be, and whatever happens is I'm fine with taking that stab on the slate for sure, and I'm doing it too a little bit, not much, but a little bit.
I think I might do it a little bit more.
I might have a little bit too much Pablo Lopez. By the way, I have like Pablo Lopez like everywhere. On draft.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. I'm just, just feels a little funny.
And what about specifically on because I remember I got to do this the right way, and specifically on FanDuel pitching.
Pitching for me on FanDuel is two guys with the highest upside, and that's Bauer and Heaney to me, because I'm eliminating Snell. So that I'm eliminating Snell for one very good reason on FanDuel, why you don't play Snell until you, first of all, and also the Padres are supposed to have even a shorter leash or a similarly short leash to Tampa Bay. So not to mention it's just the start of the season and they pitched in the World. Like, I mean, they're not going to let him go crazy. So Heaney, right now it's Heaney. It's just those two for me, Heaney and Bauer.
Just have one question. Do you have, while I have you, a good 4K second baseman? Oh, I found him.
Gavin Lux.
Oh, that was quick.
You found?
No, he's too expensive.
Ty France, I'm guessing.
He's 4,100.
Lux is 41. That's right. Oh no, Wilmer Flores and Ty France. I like Wilmer Flores probably a little bit better than France.
Catcher kind of stinks, huh?
Well, it's pay up for Will Smith or pay down for San Diego, and Will Smith is going to be the lowest owned of the Dodgers, so I encourage you to do that. I think that Alfaro is probably a good pivot off of Campusano, but I think people will get that idea. He's just got power, which is all you really want. You hope you get one spot. The guy who we talked about earlier, which I like actually as a play, is Carson Kelly against Snell. And I actually think if you're not playing Snell, playing Carson Kelly and maybe you play a two-man between either Escobar, but especially Ketel Marte and Carson Kelly stand out as being really solid options at those prices.
Is there a good? No, he's not good. Yeah, he's actually not bad. You like Cronenworth at all today?
Yeah, but he's cheap. He's going to be popular. Just Jed Lowry is your other cheap option, 2,500. Probably better in a mini A's stack, but still a very good play.
This is what I want to do. I just want to finish up like a lineup or two. One more run on. Take 2 seconds on FanDuel for baseball, and then I think we should spend the rest of the time on basketball. No.
Sure, I might have to edit some things in baseball because I haven't done all my lineups. But yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'm just doing something too.
I'm gonna take the chat we're talking about here.
What do we got?
The Mariners. He's stacking the Mariners now. I'm just seeing what we got. Trout will be lower on. They should. Rendon, K9 Bronco. I love Rendon too. He's a great pivot off of the third baseman along with the other guys we mentioned. You can play any of these guys, and they're all in good spots and are going to be unowned because of the Dodgers stuff. So I'm actually the guy who I'm least on of the Dodgers, although I have some of them right now for sure, is Justin Turner. Because I don't feel that he is the same quality of upside hitter as the other guys are. Even though, look, it's Coors and it's Justin Turner. He's a really good hitter, but I just think the other guys are better hitters.
Justin Turner tilted me a little bit yesterday. Why did he do that? I just have this. I have this some in my head.
Maybe it was because he ran back and took away Cody Bellinger's home run.
Wait, what happened?
That's what I said. Cody Bellinger hit the home run, the ball off the guy's glove that was over the fence. It was a home run, but Turner went back on the bases and he passed him.
Oh.
So it was a single. It was.
Oh, okay.
That was the tilt part for most people.
Oh, that's really funny, actually.
Yeah. Also, Evan Longoria as a spend down, I like quite a bit. I think there's some merit to these Giants because there's so many good Giants with lefty-righty splits. But I like Kikuchi as a pitcher, so it's a little bit tough. And, I'm spreading out some smaller lineups, but mostly I'm playing bigger lineups. Mostly I'm focusing on my bigger ones. And in my bigger ones, I don't think I'm getting to much Longoria, but on my smaller ones, I expect to get him and a lot of the Giants.
I also want to say, by the way, that I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I ran so freaking pure in that monster last night.
Wait, what was so talk about that for 1 second. I didn't get a chance to see everything. What was it, the baseball one?
Yeah.
So how much was third? Was it anything?
Like what was it, 1,500, 2,500?
Okay.
Yeah, it was 5,000 for first. It was the one you didn't want to play, right? Because it didn't pay that much for first, whatever.
It wasn't just not paying too much for first. It's just I don't like to have to play that.
I know you didn't want the small tournament anyway. No, I got you.
Yeah.
So we were actually doing it on, during the chat or whatever. So I ran so hot because, and this is like, what's really cool about baseball is that when you like know who you're up against, like you can see like who you need. And sometimes you need to fade like your own guys because like for example, I had like Solano, but like if Solano, but he had him as a one-off. And if he got on, then other guys who had like more guys behind Solano were going to have a better chance to get there against me. It was really, really cool. And then I had like Alex Dickerson hit a home run, and he was like the only person who can hit a home run and me not lose spots because he was a pinch hitter. It was like really, it was the baseball sweat is very, very, very tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is tricky. It's funny because I thought I was going to lose. So I ended up winning that other tournament, the $44 secondary one.
Did you really? Sweet.
Yeah, so that was, and I finished first, fourth, seventh, and eighth. So, or fifth, seventh, and 11th. I don't remember what it was exactly.
Oh, that's
beautiful. Yeah, so made a few thousand yesterday and ready to.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, why not? We're off to a good baseball start. It seems like, so that's good.
That is excellent. Yeah, that saved my day. That was 2 to 13. So I got.
Oh, that guy's coming after me again for talking about the Dodgers.
Who do we got? Who is it?
I just named about 500 pivots off of all the Dodgers and just said that they're clearly the best stack. It's not a question. You could ask any other person who does.
I'm gonna take care of this in a second.
If you think that the Dodgers aren't the best stack, then you're kind of crazy. But whatever. I'm doing other things.
A lot of Miami here. You getting too much Miami somehow?
This Will guy is literally going to get blocked.
Nah, Will's the man.
No, he's not. He's a total Sheets. Don't do that. I'm your friend, man. You shouldn't let people. And he came in here the other time talking about my looks and shit. Like this guy is a piece of garbage.
Well, that's not nice.
Yeah. So here he goes again. He's talking. He's angry about you bragging. So who are your favorite pitchers on DK? I'm gonna. Let's see. He's out. All right, the favorite pitchers on DK. I'll answer some real questions instead of getting out of this. In the ones I have the highest ownership on right now are Bauer, Pablo Lopez, and Kikuchi. Those are my 3 highest owned. I don't have any problem if you want to go Luzardo, Heaney, Cueto, and even I have a little bit of Merrill Kelly. That's all of it.
Let me just look at these here. Then we'll look at questions. Then we'll transition to NBA. No, but I give these guys a little break. I'm telling you, one of your guys was really helpful to me and was a really, really cool dude last night. The normal guy, that's the normal troll. I mean, we could tell you guys. The Timothy feature.
I don't even remember him as being a troll, but I don't know. I'm just not going to sit here and like have just people coming in that. We're creating a different type of thing. We want to try and we're being transparent. Look, you're showing your freaking FanDuel lineups right now. Yeah. Everybody knows what we're doing. We're doing something different. We're getting people come on the shows with us who watch the shows. Like we're not doing anything to hurt anybody. We're doing these things for free right now. And it's frustrating to me that people will just come in and troll. And I'm not going to sit here and stand for just being called names, especially about things about the way that I look or anything like that.
Well, dude, Bobby's freaking. Forget that. I mean, like, if you're gonna pick on him, Bobby's a very attractive young man. You don't want. I mean, seriously, like at least if you're gonna bring it, at least be mean and bring it to someone who deserves it. I mean, you can't say anything about Bobby's looks. I mean, say something about his love for the Dodgers or Westbrook or something like that. But don't go telling me about that.
When I first, I appreciate it, Sheets. But when I first started playing DFS, I just want to mention the Dodgers were like they were good even then, but I barely ever played them because ballpark factors and stuff were such a big thing. It was a really hot year and things like that. And they weren't their offense wasn't the same power that it is now. I mentioned the Dodgers because the Dodgers have the best team in baseball. Like it's not like I'm mentioning a Joe Schmo team because I have love for them. They just have the best team in baseball. They have the most power in their lineup. They're going to rate as one of the best stacks every night. And
yeah, but you know what? I even though like Tony sometimes, I'm agreeing with Tony on this. We're going to stop the BS right now. I want to get into this NBA because I really haven't done the greatest work on it. If you want to know the truth, I mean, I just looked at projections a couple of times, saved some dummy lineups. I was counting on like this 6:30 to 7 o'clock thing for me to kind kind of fix it. So I'll yell. We'll yell about the personal stuff later, and I'll make time for that. But let's see if we can get to the NBA, because John Wall being ruled out is a big deal, right?
John Wall being ruled out is a big deal.
Okay. Why don't we go through? I mean, like, let's talk about these games, I guess.
Yeah, we could. It's going to probably take a while to go game by game, so probably we should talk. Actually, oddly enough, maybe just by position on both sides.
So this is what we're going to do then. Since you have a little more leeway than I do about looking at the NBA, why don't you give me, while I kind of catch up, why don't you give me a little summary of what you're thinking about the NBA?
So Kira Lewis, I like better than I did last night. Unfortunately, he's going to be much more popular.
So all these guys again,
they're
going to pop as the same value. But did they play overtime last night?
They played overtime.
Okay.
And they all make the guy who I'm the least on is Awundu of all of them. No shocker there. Anybody who knows me will know.
Well, I'll tell you, he played really well. By the way, I was very surprised they didn't have him closing, or it looked like they didn't have him closing. James Johnson played really well.
Yeah.
When I watched him, at least.
I agree. James Johnson is going to be chalk again, and I think it's good chalk. Ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but is it good if they're not going to have him close?
So,
or doesn't it matter?
I don't know that it matters tonight. You also have Adams on a back-to-back. You should expect some minutes cut there. All right, I'll just say the guys who. What I'll do is I have a more of a balanced build in some of my lineups, but it's Bogdanovich, and Kevin Huerter are the main guys who are outside of that game that I'm interested in. Now that's not anything new; those are the main guys. I really think Giannis breaks out of his slump tonight, and I want to play Porzingis back in New York, especially since there are some fans now, and he won't be owned, and he's been going nuts pretty much every night. He also matches up oddly well because he's not going to be trying to post up down there anyway. And is Randall going to come out and guard him? Like, there's a lot of things about this game that seems like it would lend itself to KP having a big night. So I like Porzingis a lot. Those are the three. Those are and low ownership actually on Giannis and Porzingis tonight. So that's what I'm sort of going with. I will have some Luka lineups as well because I think he's too cheap. I would rather get the Luka in there with the Giannis and you can combine them. I think the projections are a little bit slow on these guys, and I know they've been off a little bit lately. But I'll take the larger sample size and think that there's a really good chance of them both getting 60. And we need to find out from the other side. We need to find out like Jordan Poole for like. There's other things. There's a lot of good plays on this slate, obviously, but Jordan Poole is like a much better play on FanDuel, obviously, because he's 4,200 versus 61. But at the same time, I think it's going to lower his ownership on DraftKings, and he still should be in play on DraftKings as well. Those are just some of my highlighted favorite plays for the day.
That was the first thing I noticed that in my first run was that Jordan Poole was popping, and then I was wondering why, and then I saw that they really just did a number on his price tag on FanDuel.
And Curry's gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be. I don't want to say a lock, but how do you fade that?
Yeah, I'm not fading it right now, but you could play Kira Lewis.
Right.
That's not a bad other option.
Let me run this real quick, and you want to just start them with positions on FanDuel then?
Yeah. Let's do positions on FanDuel.
All right. So let me just pull this up a second. Let me see what I.
Poole, by the way, ignore any GTD signs. Poole and Draymond are both in tonight, FYI.
Poole and Draymond both in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first guy I found was Jesus. All right. So at point guard, all this value. So I guess Luka. Do we like Ja again?
Yeah. I mean, Ja, as long as he's ever low owned, which he should be again. Let me just update these projections.
I have it at like 25%.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to update my projections. Hold on 1 second. On what site are you on FanDuel?
FanDuel.
Let's do that real quick.
I got the New Orleans value both at about 20. I got Poole at about 25, and I have Moran at about 25.
Yeah, so I like Ja as a play. It's a little bit less enticing with the price, and there's always a blowout risk with Minnesota. But yeah, I like Ja. I think Chris Paul is fine too. But he's also similarly owned. The guy to get off the board with to me is pretty easy at point guard. It's Malcolm Brogdon.
Ooh, I like that.
Or Luka, which is actually weird to say. Luka at 10.5 is going to be, less than 20% owned, but he will be.
Shooting guard next. So shooting guard, I guess Nicole Alexander-Walker, 100% owned, right? I mean,
yeah, it's going to be hard to fade him over here, especially. I feel like I think Fred VanVleet is my actual number one guy. Oh, by the way, we didn't mention Bledsoe over at point guard, did we?
I think we did.
Okay, my fault. I thought we did.
40%. I got 40% for VanVleet too.
VanVleet's he's you want to play him. Kevin Huerter, Gary Trent, and that's pretty much.
Is it Lou Williams season yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe, but I wouldn't. What's his price on FanDuel right now?
4,800.
Just play him on DraftKings instead if you're going to take the shot. I wouldn't. Yeah. Doesn't get any steals or blocks. And
Trent, as long as you're going to play Trent, I mean, I could probably find 400 for Halliburton.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I think you're better off playing Huerter than either of those guys personally.
Yeah, I actually have Huerter a little bit, just a tiny bit better. You're right.
Yeah.
Small forward. Yeah, but wow, Bogdan. Here comes the ownership.
Unfortunate, right? We know to play him now, and then this is what happens.
Well, wait a minute. With what's his name out, Kevin Porter's going to get played now.
That's a good point.
We could play your dude again. We can go back to Patrick Williams.
Yeah, that's fine. As a pay down, we still don't know about Levine, right? Yeah, and he's still questionable. So the other ones you'd spend up for would be Hayward's only 7K. I'm actually liking his matchups against Indiana these days, and Chris Middleton and Anunoby are all the middle tier guys who I like. But the low end guys would be Patrick Williams, and then the other one would be Kevin Porter and Bogdanovich. That's pretty much all my small forwards.
Power forward on FanDuel, back to James Johnson as far as I'm concerned.
One guy who's not a long shot play but is going to be low owned is Malik Beasley. And I don't think it's the worst play in the world at 5,600.
Okay, I was concerned about. I mean, I was going to think about Edwards on DraftKings earlier this morning.
I like Edwards on DraftKings. That's the funny part. I do.
Yeah. James Johnson again. He's min cost. He's going to be 100% owned.
I'm very fine fading Johnson over here.
Okay, that's interesting.
I like the idea of playing. First of all, I don't care. You can call me a glutton for punishment. This guy won us a bunch of money early in the year when no one was playing him at these kind of prices. Let's play, and he's going to have some ownership, but this is a guy who could literally have been 50% owned at this price in this slate, maybe 60. He actually was, I think, at 600 more.
Who, PJ?
PJ.
Yeah.
And then your long shot play is the guy who I always say is play Jaden McDaniels a little bit if you want to.
Dude, that ownership doesn't exist. He's not going to be only 5%, right?
It's dedefinitely possible he is. He's got a low projection, a high range of outcomes. He has been over 20 now, 4 games in a row, or 5 games in a row, maybe, or no, 5 games in a row. And I think people will notice. But and then Christian Wood is a good pay up, but I prefer Siakam and Giannis. I would rather play Giannis with one of Washington or Siakam than spend down at power forward. And I think it'll get you a little bit different. Nothing crazy different, but I like that better than playing James Johnson over here.
I would also like to say, with respect to James Johnson and all this other stuff from New Orleans, I still am of the belief that anybody who is chalk coming off overtime is fadeable. That's just my.
In general, I'd agree. They didn't change the prices, and there's not like guys that play the backup minutes. That's why I was so much heavier on Lewis.
Okay.
Because he didn't play. He didn't have those minutes, and I trust him on the back-to-back. Also, you never know if any shenanigans are going to happen, and somehow somebody else has to sit or something.
Speaking of which, this is going to really put a test to my freaking problem, because my two top plays and my top play by a lot played freaking double overtime last night.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I got all kinds of issues.
Say that one more time, Sheets.
My top play tonight played double overtime last night. I don't know what to do.
Who is it?
Capella.
Oh, I'm very worried about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on. But we jumping ahead of power forward. Oh, we did power forward. My bad.
I'm petrified of it. I don't want to do it almost.
I think there's definitely good cause for this. I would say they're fighting hard for playoff spots, so it's weird that they're sitting guys out. And I honestly wouldn't be shocked if somehow Capella ended up sitting. But I do. I mean, he is the first guy I put in as the center. I have no problem with Robert Williams against Houston.
Oh, dude, I know who I'm playing.
Steven Adams and from off the overtime game is.
No, you can keep it. I know what I'm doing.
You do Boucher.
This ownership is right. I don't know how it's actually going to work, but I'm playing Chris Boucher.
I knew. I had a feeling you were going to say that. Okay. Yeah, I support taking these shots. All I
got to do is I got to fade Robert Williams, who's probably the toughest one to fade, and two double overtime guys. I'm in. I think
you're going to find that your build will allow it very easy to play Karl Anthony Towns in a good game.
Oh no, that's a shame.
Why? Well, he's fine. I'm just saying.
I know he is.
I'm not saying you need to play him. I actually think the best play would be the guy who. So one-on-one, Gobert has actually quietly been destroyed by offensive-minded centers this season. Vucevic is 8,800. If Levine is out again, that's an awesome play at zero ownership, as we had him the other night.
Fading Capella. What kind of person is that does that? All right, we're going to find out.
Zay mentioned the Gordon Hayward homecoming. Look, I actually do like the Gordon Hayward play anyway, so I'm good with it just no matter what, if you want to do it.
He's had a few of these too.
Yeah.
Hang on.
But I'm still good with it. He's still a really good play, like especially on FanDuel.
But the guy we forgot to mention, by the way. I mean, you probably mentioned him. I just forgot because my brain's in another spot right now. Is Giannis?
It's weird because Giannis is going to be chalky on FanDuel and not chalky on DraftKings, is the way that I'm seeing it.
He's going to be chalky on FanDuel.
And less chalky on DraftKings. Not chalky, but he won't be too high on. It'll be probably 35 to 45% on FanDuel and probably like 20-something% on DraftKings at most.
All right, so we're going to see what these NBA lineups look like now because I have to change this with the Porter.
Guys, throw in any QQs if you want to. I'm going to jump back to the thing. And please give us the like button. Smash the like button if you can. I'm going to jump back over to building my FanDuel NBA lineup out. Because I kept ending up with too much money, by the way, on FanDuel.
Is that right?
One of my biggest issues from today's thing is that I ended up with like I don't love Jaylen Brown. I don't love that. I mean, this matchup is great for everybody on Boston, but I don't think it's going to be much of a game. But I kept ending up with Jaylen Brown because it was too easy. So maybe what I'll do is just pay all the way up for Cat.
Gobert, Robert Williams, Cat, Gobert. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think I need to pay down for Boucher.
Yeah. Boom, I just fixed it. And now I have the chalkiest lineup of all time.
Yes.
I'm embracing it, Cheats. Embracing the chalk life.
You just need a little. You can't go full chalk, but you can get away with.
I know. You're right. A lot of it.
Yeah.
All right. Let me edit. Import. Okay, so I think my basketball line is pretty much set on FanDuel. Do you want to? Maybe we should talk a little more on DK because I think it's a little.
I just got to finish this one thing. Hold on.
All right, do your thing. Be ready to switch tonight in basketball. It's not going to be the funnest slate in the world to play.
You think so?
I mean, it's already getting out of control. You know, I mean, it started the day out of control. Now it's like, okay.
Now it's fully out of control.
I think so. I think we've updated projections on Kevin Porter Jr. and I don't think that he's.
Yeah, I'm not getting that much of him actually.
I don't think he's like a must play, but I like him though. I like him in that case, and I think that he's not going to have the ownership that maybe he should, whatever word you want to use, have. Kelly Olynyk. Let's see. Hold on. I had Kelly Olynyk in my lineup earlier in the day because I was speculating, but that's going to change. Got to get rid of this. Let's no.
Let me just see something.
Get away with this. Center, like Giannis.
Gobert, Johnson,
Herder.
Lead.
Already have Herder.
Did Lewis and Nikhil, they closed together, right?
Nikhil.
I think so.
Yes. Yeah. No. Because I think that because Kira didn't play the overtime minutes. I don't believe. Let me double check. He played 32.33, so I don't know where he stood on the overtime. I think he did play the overtime.
Like, would you play those two together or not really?
And it looks like, and obviously Bledsoe must have because he played 46 minutes. That's played 46 minutes. Yeah, you can play any of them together. It's not. There's just too much going on there, basically. All right.
I want to see what's going on with DraftKings here. Whoa, what is this? Oh, okay.
James Bogdanovich.
No big deal.
Bogdanovich. Blah, blah, blah. Bogdanovich.
Let me just run a DraftKings. Yeah, I thought that the John Wall thing would. Wouldn't you think that like Christian would become a better play and Porter and you just think that?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I mean, they're going to get killed though. Like it doesn't. We've seen this happen so many times, and like nobody does anything except for like the guys like Porter because they just get killed.
Who are they playing tonight?
Boston.
Right.
Siakam. No. I got to figure this last piece out here. So Bledsoe, Alexander Walker, Bogdanovich, Herder.
I see Sabonis with a Q tag. Is that real?
Is it what? Yeah, it's real because I love Sabonis. So
right, but that's a legit question. What was what I'm saying?
That's what I've got right now. Yeah, but I love Sabonis tonight. Let me see something real quick with Olynyk. Favorite? Is there? You have a favorite like 5,500 player on DraftKings other than Bledsoe, Bogdanovich? Steven Adams just feels so thin, doesn't it? Like I am stacking that game in this lineup though.
You like Dray? Did they ask you about Draymond just now?
I like Draymond fine, but I would rather wait. The only guys I'm really super interested in the first game are Van Vliet, Poole, Siakam, and Anunoby.
I mean, with the overtime thing, you realize that what's his name is going to get minutes. The Windu.
You know who might get minutes tonight is Bismack Biyombo and Seller. I just don't know how they match up size-wise, assuming that Sabonis does in fact play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm forcing. By the way, I'm forcing a window out. By the way, I'm just not doing it.
You're not going to do it.
No.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell, is that a legit questionable?
I mean, he hasn't been playing, so it won't change anything for me. I don't think if it changed.
Like a week, presuming him in or out.
I don't think it matters, but you can go ahead and take a stab at who you're interested in. You got the priced up guys now. Even if he's out, which I don't think he will be. I had a lineup with him in. That's playing. Oh, you're playing him. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I assume he's playing, but it's hard to know. I mean, we don't know.
And the Sabonis. I mean, how legit is this again? When is that game?
What? Which one?
Sabonis.
That's at 8 Eastern.
That's not nice.
Yeah, I mean, Sabonis is a freaking awesome tournament play again, and a great matchup.
But if he doesn't play, we're gonna have to deal with that again, right?
I mean, it's not like he hasn't been questionable a bunch where he sat.
Okay.
He's played every game. It's the quad thing. They need to win games, so if he plays, it's just if he's out, you can shift him out. I mean, there's plenty of plays.
But if he's out, do you have to do stuff like play Turner and all that stuff?
You don't have to. They all become better plays for sure.
All right. Just
No, I'm not. I'm trying to answer it the best way I
I'll
can.
be somewhat proactive here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just running up on lock here, trying to find my one last play here. Boy, oh boy, it would be really gross if I had to play a Wundu in one of my big lineups. Just can't find a guy in the 3,700 range that I'm really crazy about. You know what's funny? Who I'm going to play? Tony Snell.
Really?
Yep. It's a part of that game stack too, so it's not totally like unfounded. You know, it makes some sense. He's going to play like a million minutes. He's going to play like 35 minutes. I'd rather play him than a Wundu. They're both equally do nothing, but he's going to play more minutes, and sure, his XG's 300 more. You can play those guys both in the same lineup and just spend up for everybody. Solomon Hill is also going to play a ton of minutes. These are not fun names, obviously, to talk about, but they're just names that sort of need to be talked about. Two players for 9K. That's a real thing to try and figure out. All right, if there's any questions anybody has, I would love to. I'm sorry, I'll jump in there in a second. It's hard when obviously editing. So yeah, I'm splitting up like Luka and Porzingis on DraftKings just to give it away. On FanDuel, I'm playing neither of them in my main lineup because I'm paying down at point guard and paying up at power forward and center. So, and I do have Edwards in one of my big lineups on DraftKings.
Yeah, the coach says that he does expect Sabonis to be available. Okay.
That's my guess is that he'll play too. And with no Monk, it would be nice to run it back, and that's why Gordon Hayward seems like a nice play on FanDuel. I didn't quite get to the exact build that got him there, but I totally support it. Real quick, I'm gonna take a look at questions. Giannis or Luka? For me, it's Giannis because the partially position eligibility when we have all these guard value. But I think they both have good games, so I'm actually playing them both together on DraftKings. I really wish there was somebody I felt comfortable rostering on DraftKings from Charlotte because I would like to get a little bit of this game, and I just don't feel like at these prices that I'm getting enough of an edge. The weirdest part is the guy who I keep coming back to is Washington Bridges and Cody Martin, but I feel like Cody Martin's such a huge reach with all the other stuff out there, and the fact that even without Monk, they didn't play him a ton of minutes. So my question for you, Sheets, is if you had to you could play any position, but you need to have two guys for 9K on DraftKings. Who are we looking at here? That's what I'm saying.
I'll totally answer that.
That's my issue.
Two guys, any position.
But I'll tell you, I have James Johnson, I have Kira Lewis, I have Snell. I don't want Bogdanovich or Herter.
And why don't you want them?
Because I have them in my other lineup and I'm stacking it, and this time I'm playing a blowout angle of that game.
Okay, so we want 9K, two positions, DraftKings.com, and let me see what we can do. And you don't want to play a Wundu, you're saying?
I don't really want to play a Wundu, but I'm kind of tempted to maybe go for it here a little bit. Because if I do, I can get to. I thought I could get to. My bad. Porter. They made what?
Well, one thing you could do, I mean, again, is dude, I think this is an idea is to play at least some Lou Williams instead of Herder.
You know what? I'm actually kind of sold, especially on DraftKings.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you were asking me, right?
You know what? I'm into this, Sheets. You got me. I'm sold. Why do we assume he's not going to play any minutes in this situation? It's a great spot. It's a great matchup for him. It doesn't have to go to all these other guys. Yeah, let's go with Lou Williams on DraftKings. Not on FanDuel, but on DraftKings. I like that. I like that, Sheets. That's going to get me different. I'm good with it.
Oh, well, you'll be different, all right.
Yep.
You'll be a loser instead of a winner.
The question is, can we fade, let's see, Cody Zeller? I mean, I actually think that these minutes, they're not going to be able to get away with PJ Washington at the 5. It's just not going to work. So the projections are off, in my opinion. But I don't know if it's worth enough to actually make that full commitment. And let's just see real quick the late games if there's any potential late news that could break. Always OKC's got news that could break. Slate. There's a lot of good games on this slate, and it's weird because I'm pretty dialed into not very much of it, but I did get different in those games. I just feel like I really don't have much of the late games, to be honest. Oh, I know I can get off of them here. This is easy. Favorite medium to cheap centers on DraftKings Sheets?
Capella. Ugh. Robert Williams. I mean, it's the usual guys, no?
I think Robert Williams is who I'm probably going to end up going with. Wow, Anunoby is now center eligible. I might have to get involved in a little bit of that. I don't love the center spot today. So kind of like the idea of playing Anunoby, who's just been a man on a mission in a phenomenal matchup. Why not play him over Robert Williams? What's Anunoby going to be on? Let's see. Not much. And Robert Williams ain't going to be on much either.
James Johnson again. Once again, though, I'd like to make sure that James Johnson's starting again.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. What if I did this?
Oh, I'm not doing that.
Other than Kleber, you got any good 4K forwards on DK?
No.
That's fine.
No.
I sort of like this Anunoby thing. I think I'm going to do it. My first time playing Anunoby at center of all time. All right.
Yeah?
I've never played him at center before. I do need to do one quick thing to my DraftKings lineups because I need to edit, and I've got 5 minutes to do it, but I need to edit some of these a little bit less Lopez than I have currently. Still like him, but I want a little bit less.
All right, let me take a look at any questions on here that I haven't gotten to. Played some Jovel, that's good. Jovel or Turner to FanDuel will be different, good. NBA, Giannis or Luka? Probably neither.
I think Giannis is the answer, but I think it's close. I'm just giving Porzingis some edge because I'm giving a little bit of going back to New York edge here. And I also like the matchup for him. It's not just a narrative thing.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'd rather play like Sabonis, Van Vliet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
These studs have not been kind to me of late.
I see where you're at. I hear you.
All right. good luck, guys. Multiple sports, multiple stuff. The door's flying open. So I'm going to cut out. And good luck.
Yeah, guys, I'll be in Discord. Good luck.